My throat was hoarse from screaming, my chest aching from the effort. But I couldn't stop, not until he heard me, not until he understood how much his words had hurt. You don't love me. You never did. That engagement was just a show. You're ashamed to have a poor fiancé, aren't you? Each word was a fresh wound, tearing at the fabric of my hope. Why did I keep fooling myself that this would be different, that my love was enough to bridge the gap between us? I should have listened to my gut, that primal voice inside warning me about his gilded cage. Instead, I'd dreamt of taming the wild beast within him, of molding his heart into loving me as I loved him. How naive, he spat, breaking the silence that followed. Enough of your theatrics. Elara, do I look like I care? Like I'll ever give you the time of day? You're nothing but a burden, an obstacle in my path to greatness. I stumbled back, tears blurring my vision. His words were poison, seeping into my soul and taking root. You're right. I am nothing but a burden you'll carry until death parts us, unless you decide to sever our bond before then. Sever our bond. The words caught in my throat, a bitter pill I could not swallow. To end things. Now, after all we'd been through, all the sacrifices I'd made, it was unthinkable. Yet a part of me yearned for release, for a chance to pick up the shattered pieces of my dignity and start anew. But I was a coward. I couldn't let go, not without a fight. Years of conditioning had taught me to anticipate his moods, to read between the lines, to mold myself into whatever shape he desired. It was exhausting, but I was adept at it. I knew exactly which strings to pull, which wounds to lick, which tears to feign. Very well, Caspian, I said, my voice shaking with feigned sadness. As you wish. If that is what will bring you joy, then I shall fulfill your desire. He stared at me, surprise momentarily flickering across his features. For a split second, I saw a crack in the armor, a flicker of humanity. Then it was gone, replaced by the cold, calculating glint of the ruthless businessman I knew so well. Do as you please, Elara, he said dismissively, but do not expect any sympathy from me. I despise weakness. Remember that? With that, he turned away, leaving me in a maelstrom of emotions. Despise weakness. Yes, I was weak. Weak for wanting more than the loveless union he had thrust upon me. Weak for dreaming of a future where love blossomed instead of wilted. Weak for hoping to fill the void in his heart when only emptiness resided there. My tears fell freely now, washing away the remnants of my shattered dreams. I had nothing left to lose. No longer would I play his game, cater to his whims, or pretend to be someone I wasn't. I would find my strength, not in him, but within myself. As I wiped away my tears, a new resolve hardened my gaze. Love him, I may have once upon a time, but the man before me had ceased to exist. In his place stood a hollow shell, a monument to ambition and greed. And if he wanted to destroy me, then so be it. I would rather die than live a life shackled to a heartless monster. Turning away, I fled his suffocating embrace, vowing never to return. The cool night air stunned my cheeks, bringing me back to the present. I took deep breaths, willing my heart to slow its frantic beat. He had won this round, but the war was far from over. I was done playing his games. It was time for me to rewrite my story. Weeks turned into months. I immersed myself in work, pouring every ounce of energy into rebuilding my life. I took on extra shifts at the bakery, savoring the warmth of the oven and the comforting routine of kneading dough. The rhythmic motions soothed my frayed nerves, grounding me in reality. Slowly, I began to heal, the pain receding into a dull ache that time would eventually erase. Then came the letters. First one, a formal notice from Caspian's lawyers regarding our impending divorce. There was no mention of love, no olive branch, just cold, hard facts. I reread the letter, each word burning like acid. This was what I'd feared, what I'd braced for, yet nothing had prepared me for the finality of it all. The second letter arrived 2 days later. My fingers trembled as I tore open the envelope, my heart sinking as I recognized his flowing script. Alara, I trust you are well. I'm writing to inform you that I've found someone new, someone who can fulfill the role I require. While our relationship has run its course, I want to ensure a seamless transition. I believe Serena will make a wonderful addition to my life, and I think you'll find her company delightful. I've asked my attorneys to expedite the divorce proceedings. Once finalized, I'll ensure you receive a generous settlement. Until then, please occupy the guest wing of my estate. It will be more comfortable than your modest abode. Consider this my final gesture of goodwill, wishing you all the best for a swift and amicable resolution. Yours sincerely, Caspian. P.S. You shouldn't be alone so soon after the breakup. Serena and I insist you join us for dinner tonight. It will be a lovely opportunity for you all to meet. I crumpled the letter, Caspian's smug satisfaction oozing from the paper. He thought he'd broken me. Little did he know I was just getting started. That evening, I put on a dress I'd never worn, one that shimmered like liquid moonlight, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within me. Caspian stood in the grand hall of his mansion, every inch the picture of success. Tall, handsome, powerful, everything I'd once loved and lost. But in his eyes, I saw no warmth, only a flicker of amusement as he watched me enter. Beside him stood Serena, elegant and poised, the trophy wife, perfect. The sight of them together ignited a fire in my soul. I was here to play a part, to act out the perfect performance of a woman scorned, a woman who could no longer hold a candle to Serena. My facade was flawless, I hoped, because I saw the triumph in Caspian's eyes and the veiled sneer on Serena's lips. They believed they'd won. Huh! They played right into my hand. Dinner was a blur. Polite conversation punctuated by icy glares. I sipped my wine, watching them like a hawk, biding my time. When Caspian raised his glass in a toast, his eyes twinkling with merriment, I spoke. To new beginnings, to finding happiness in unexpected places, to seizing opportunities that come our way. My voice rang with false cheer, echoing in the vast space like a prophecy. They both looked at me, brows furrowed in confusion, and that was when I smiled, a slow, predatory grin that mirrored the predator's grin. They had no idea what was coming. Oh, I forgot, I said, leaning closer, my voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. 2 old flames dying a painful death, their faces drained of color as realization dawned on them. They should have known. They should have seen it coming. But the truth was, I was beyond their perception. I was the darkness that haunted their daylight, the nightmare that followed them even into their waking hours. My existence was a threat to their carefully constructed world, an inconvenient stain on their pristine lives. I might have been born under a shadow, but I thrived in darkness. And in the shadows, I was untouchable. They underestimated me. They thought I was nothing but a pawn, a piece in their twisted game. But I had plans of my own, plans that would shatter their world and leave them broken and begging for mercy. Because I was not just a nobody, I was their worst nightmare come to life. I was the darkness that whispered in their ear, reminding them of all they had lost and would never regain.